So fire insurance majorly is what? It is not like a life insurance or a marine insurance. It is for one entire year. It should be accidental. Now you will only go and burn it. Definitely you will not get any of the compensation, or you can't claim the, due to water the short circuit will happen. After short circuit the fire will come. Now understand the logic behind. The person, that is the insurance company, will actually compensate. What it is? Indemnify. Whatever is the loss, they need to compensate. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidyashram Pure College, the Temple of Excellence. Here we'll go with the next session where you will understand more about the fire insurance. What is it? Fire insurance. Last session we spoke about the life insurance, and now we have come to the next one where you will understand about fire insurance. What exactly this fire insurance is all about, right? Here in the fire insurance you will know that what exactly the causes are, why business people they take fire insurance, why they actually go with so many other kind of insurance also. Understand this. A fire insurance policy is for a period of 1 year. What is it? It's a period for 1 year. What happens with the life insurance? Life insurance usually go with what? That is till he dies or till the policy becomes matured, but this fire insurance is only for 1 year, after which it is to be renewed. Now after that, if you want to renew, then time to time you can renew for it. That's why fire insurance, the major point is what? It is for 1 year. Okay, and if you want to continue, then you can renew it. That is, renewal will be there, that to time to time. Now the premium may be paid either in lump sum or installment. It is not that everything you are supposed to pay in the same year. You can actually go with what? Premium. You can pay it as lump sum, or that means you pay little and then you can actually give it, or else you can also opt for something called installment. So these are the things which are given by whom? By the insurance companies. That is, whenever you want you can actually go with it. That is what they would have asked for. So fire insurance majorly is what? It is not like a life insurance or a marine insurance. It is for one entire year, and if you want to continue it, you can actually renew it whenever that is required. That is, time to time you can renew it. And the company, that is the insurance company, have given one of the criteria. That is, one thing what they have given is you can give the premium in lump sum. That is, once you can actually give it, or you can actually go for one more option, that is called installments. So here we have how is that the claim are actually taken, what exactly will happen, what is the must and must, right? What is it? The must and must combination should be there, okay, to satisfy all these criteria. You will understand here. The first thing is, yes, there must be actual loss. Now supposingly you have a company, and for the company you have taken insurance. So the company is insured. Okay, now the company is insured. Now here is the insurer. Okay, now insurer, say you have a factory, okay, and you have raw material, then you have machinery, okay, you have so many. Now what is that? Here you will give premium. Okay, now what is that? You will give, here you will give premium. And now what happens is the insurer need to give something called certainty. If there is a loss, if there is a damage, okay, only then the fire insurance, and that too what? It should happen with the nearest possible of fire. Okay, short circuit can happen, all those things. Now fire will happen and there is a damage, only then you can actually go for it. That is, for the losses, you can claim, And one more thing is what? Fire must be accidental. What is it? It should be accidental. Now you will only go and burn it. Definitely you will not get any of the compensation, or you can't claim the losses. Fire must be accidental and non-intentional. That's why I'll tell you, all these insurance company are there, right? They have their own way of uh, investigation. Okay, they have their own investigation where you will understand that whether it is intentional or it is non-intentional. Many of the business people, when they lose in a business, when they have a loss of cross together things in the business, accidentally or non-interest intentionally, if something happens, the insurance company will pay them the claim. They can take it. Or if supposingly it is not non-intentional, it is intentional, and they do it, and later they actually want to claim from the insurance, what happens is the insurance company are also not fools. They have their own separate investigation wing. What is it? Investigation wing. And only when they are satisfied saying that it is non-intentional or accidental, the claim will be given, or else the claim will not be given at all. So next one is elements of fire insurance. What is it? Elements of fire insurance. What are the elements of fire insurance? One is insurable interest. This is the supreme, that is both of them, the party as well as the person who has taken the insurance, both of them should be insurable interest. What is this insurable interest? Now we have a big factory. Okay, factory, we have taken insurance, so we are called insured. Okay, we are insured. Now it's a company, insurance company. Okay, now we call them as insurer. Okay, just because I have taken the insurance, I cannot be careless. I should be what? Careful. I should be what? Careful. Now understand. And I need to minimize the loss. What am I supposed to do? I should always minimize my losses. That means something happens to the factory, I need to be prepared. What is that? I need to be prepared to minimize the losses. Now once the fire or accidentally unintentionally the fire has happened, now what happens is we usually call the insurance company for the claim. But again, I told you, the insurer will have investigation. If he gets to know that the losses could have been minimized, but I have not done any of the effort, now what happens is there is a void in the contract. That means what? I could have minimized, but I didn't minimize. I made that fire to actually go and destroy my property or my raw material or machinery. Then the insurance company will not pay. That's why both the company as well as the insured person should have insurable interest. That means for the factory, whatever I have taken insurance, even I should be very careful, and I should always go through what? To minimize the losses. How much ever is possible, I need to minimize the losses. Second one is the contract of fire insurance is a contract of utmost good faith. Yes, the same way what we went with life insurance, it is also what? Utmost good faith. Both of us should have a good faith and good rapport, and then we are supposed to go for the contract. Next is the contract of fire insurance is a contract of strict indemnity. Strict indemnity in the sense whatever happens, right, to the factory, the insurance company, if it is prove that it is accidental, or they need to compensate. What is that they need to do? They need to compensate immediately. Compensate for what? For the actual loss. for the actual loss. Now what happens is, loss is there. Now probably say 1,000 of my articles, right? How much? 1,000 articles, okay, is scrapped. In the sense, fire has actually taken the 1,000 things. Now what will happen is, the insurance company need to compensate for those 1,000, and later whatever the 1,000 is still, right, which is half burnt or say quarterly burnt, all that property will go to whom? Not to the factory but to the insurance, because they become the owner. So this is what you are supposed to understand. Next thing is, the insurer is liable to compensate only when fire is proximate. What is it? Proximate cause of damage or loss. That means if water comes, now they will not claim. If water has done something, or because of earthquake something has happened, now they won't. If and only if the proximity is there, that to fire or near to it, only then the claim can be taken. That's why you are supposed to read the entire policy carefully, whether it is for the fire or whether it is for the water. Everything you are supposed to understand. Now due to water, the short circuit will happen. After short circuit, the fire will come. Now understand the logic behind what was the first initial process. Only then they'll go with the clauses. So these are the things which you are supposed to see. Next one is marine insurance. Now what is this marine insurance? Fire insurance you all got to know. Marine insurance, in the sense, here what happens is, whatever happens in the sea or the ocean, now we don't know what uncertainty will come when there is a transactions, that is a business processes going on overseas. Now here also there is uncertainty, so that's the reason we take insurance, and that insurance within the sea or the ocean, we call that as a marine insurance. Usually this happens with transportation of goods, okay, over where? Sea or ocean. Sea or ocean. A marine insurance contract is an agreement whereby the insurer undertakes to indemnify. Indemnify means whatever the compensation is, he'll actually return it. Indemnify the insured in the manner and to extend thereby agree against marine losses. Anything which is loss in the marine, the person, that is the insurance company, will actually compensate. What it is? Indemnify. Whatever is the loss, they need to compensate. That is called the marine insurance. Now in marine insurance we have types, that is, one is ship or hull. Hull, I'll tell you what exactly the hull means. If you go with a kind of a ship, now this is what is called hull, right? Now cargo insurance you have, then freight insurance. Freight means it's all about the transportation charges, we call that as freight. So you have three things. One is ship or hull insurance. Hull in the sense, the watertight vacuum will be there, right? That watertight, this is called as hull. Okay, now ship or hull insurance, cargo insurance, freight insurance. Now the first one is ship or hull insurance. What is a ship or hull insurance? Since the ship are exposed to many dangers at sea, the insurance policy is for indemnifying. What is this indemnifying? Please watch the section 6 and 5. You will understand what is this indemnify means, right? The insured for losses caused by damage to the ship. So say example, you have a ship here, some damages will happen while traveling, some uncertainty, you don't know what exactly will happen. Now that insurance company will actually give them the insurance, saying that if there is any damage in the hull or in the ship, then whatever the transportation, whatever the charges here you have, that those things will be indemnified. So that means what? They are taking utmost risk, that is utmost risk, because just one ship, say how many goods are there, understand this, how many goods of how many other different companies or how many different factories. Now that is what they challenge, that is, now the ship people only will take the insurance. Any goods or any damages which are being lost in the ship or the hull, then that particular company will give them the compensation. We call that as ship hull insurance. Next one is cargo insurance. See, ship, hull, and the cargo. What exactly will happen here? You need to understand. Here, cargo while being transported by ship is subject to many risks while transportation is happening. Right? Many risks. This risk may be a port at the port, risk of theft. Here, see, there was a damage or something. Here, cargo in the sense what? Risk of theft, lost goods, or on the voyage, etc. Usually, this Pirates of Caribbean, if you understand, you will get to know what exactly it is. Everything was going good, but later Jack Sparrow something happens, and then what is it? Many other dacoits they come and they take the goods. That is where the cargo insurance will actually be very useful here. Here what it is, from the start start to the end, cargo insurance is better. The reason is, from the start of transportation to the end of destiny, something happens, then what it does, it is also indemnify. Now what it does, risk of theft, the Caribbean, or you can go with the pirates. Now the pirates can come, they can take it. That's why the insurance policy or the insurance company also is very, very good. You need to understand how the policy is, how will they protect the goods, how is that they'll compensate the goods. All those things you will understand if you understand the cargo insurance properly. So the next one here is freight insurance. What is this freight insurance? Freight insurance, freight in the sense charges. Whenever you go with bulk transportation, bulk delivery, with it can be aeroplane or train or bus, lorry, or even ship. Now freight charges. If there is a loss while receiving, I'll tell you here, start. Here you have the end destination. Okay. Now what is this freight charge? In the cargo, or if the cargo does not reach the destination, if they will not reach the destination due to damage or loss in transit means transformation, that is transportation. Transit, the shipping company, who is that? The shipping company, this shipping company, right? This shipping company is not paid freight charge. Now they will not get freight charge at all. So whatever they have, see, they have not gone with a destination. That means what will happen here? The next thing is what? They need to compensate. Who will compensate? The shipping company will compensate, because it is their responsibility that they were supposed to give the order in the destination. That's why what will happen here is, the freight insurance means whatever, if you go and you deliver the product in the destination, now you will get the freight charge. But if you will not, then we are not there for any freight charge. That's why here understand, your cargo insurance and your freight insurance both should be what? Togetherly taken care. Because in cargo insurance what will happen is they will indemnify, but in the freight insurance what will happen is you are supposed to pay it to the delivery, right? Here what it does, if they will not deliver because of there is a loss, you will not pay them the cash. Now that is what it is. So it's always a combination of cargo and freight insurance. It's always better whenever you go for any of the business. So these are the types of insurance. We have learned about fire insurance, the elements of fire insurance. Then we went with the marine insurance, where we got to know the types of marine insurance. You have hull or ship insurance. Then you have cargo insurance, and the last one is called the freight insurance. In the hull or the ship, if any damage is done, you will be compensated because it is called indemnify. Later you got to know what exactly a cargo insurance is. And the last one is the freight insurance, where the freight insurance in the sense, if the goods are not delivered in the destination because of a damage or a loss, then you will not pay for the transportation. You will not pay for what? You will not pay for the transportation. So that is called the freight insurance. So thank you students, hope you have understood the things. I'll see you when I see you.